Hello and welcome to another episode of the Anime Lounge Short Flights. I'm your host Lance here to share with you guys episode 4 of Undead Unluck. And in this series, I get to read the manga along with every episode, so I get to share with you guys everything that might be different or just might be the same. And what kind of seems to be the main theme is they stayed quite true to everything. Now, this episode covers chapters 6 and 7 in its entirety. They did a fantastic job staying close to it. Not many changes at all, nitpicky things at best. But this episode covers the fight between Gina and Andy, and some interesting stuff going on. If you guys are still confused on how Gina works, just think of her as a barrier creator. She has the power of unchange. And really, all that means is she can just control barriers. Let's just say that she can make a force field around herself, and then she can control other areas of a force field in order to do her bidding. So that's why we got to see the hands. And we got to see the hands more specifically because Andy blew himself up, creating a blood rain everywhere so that it gave it some color. I think that was more just for us to see visually how things can work out. And plus, at the same time, I thought it was a super good idea that it could have potentially just blinded her to begin with. She even made the comment when she was getting attacked, and then she's like, "Well, is this going to be a moment where I need to quickly let go of my barrier and put it right back up so I can get rid of this shield that he put over me?" I thought that was a pretty interesting idea too. So I'm glad they did that. But yeah, not really too crazy. I mean, I'm sure she could have done so much more with her barrier technique. She could have done weapons of sorts. I wonder if she could have made like sharp stuff and just throw sharp barriers at somebody, and that could have been a form of attack. So she could have been taken much more further than she was. Something else that was interesting was her age. We found out that, not found out, but we were reminded that he was taken 50 years ago, and she was 16 at the time of her taking Andy into the Union to get tested on. So that makes her 66 at the moment. And we saw at the very end that her face was cracking because all her makeup was falling apart. And she was using her powers to keep that makeup applied very tight to make her appear younger. And one quick difference from the manga that I want to share with you guys is in that moment where Gina is making fun of Unluck about give it 20 years and your boobs will be droopy. They also took that. There was a scene where she said, where Andy was talking about that with Gina's chest, there's no change there, but her butt is drooping a little bit. And they didn't really show much in the anime, but in the manga, you kind of got like an upskirt kind of view, how dirty anime can be. And they were trying to show that her butt's drooping a little bit. So I thought that was kind of funny. They didn't show in the anime, but it was funny in the manga. Other than that, I guess the only other thing to take away from this was just how Gina was defeated. Unluck figured out that she's walking when she's got her barrier up because it's harder for her to focus, and she needs to make sure that she can walk on actual land and not on her barrier, which makes it kind of interesting. I wonder why she couldn't just like create a giant circle barrier and just hamster roll that or something. Anyway, they figured out how to get into her weak spot, which is by her feet, and then just get his head under there and regrow from there and defeat her that way. And that's exactly what happened. I thought that was very interesting. Some observations that they made was that physical attacks can't go through, but light can. In the manga, they made it sound like that was just a little bit more focused and a lot more important. The flashbang we saw and that UFO that just so happened to be in the water. Well, it's not like it just so happened to be. I mean, Gina was searching for UMAs, so whatever. So yeah, light can still pierce through these, and I just thought that was interesting. But yeah, anyway, she gets defeated, officially dead, says her goodbyes with a kiss or whatever, and Gina's officially dead. And now it's time for Undead and Unluck to enter the Union. I did read a chapter ahead because I didn't know exactly how far this episode was going to go, but things are progressing really fast, and it's going to happen really fast. So time to take the next step into the Union on the next episode. So can't wait for that one. So that's enough of a spoil. So that's going to conclude today. Thanks for watching. Please go follow Facebook and Instagram with the Anime Show, and I will catch you guys next week.